today is a very special day for the Pathfinders. It's Rob's birthday. Happy birthday, Rob.
Thank you.
How many years old are you today, Rob?
49 years.
49 in German. Is it?
And we have come to a very special place. We've come to West Kennet Long Barrow, which is here in Wiltshire, and it's part of the whole Avebury landscape. And basically, the reason why we've come to West Kennet Long Barrow first is because I noticed a few years ago that Rob's face has been built in to West Kennet Long Barrow, which we shall show you. Oh,
what is this? It's got numbers on it.
Oh, there we go. We've finding them past already.
Spiritual place. We can start to feel the vibes already. Can you feel the
feel it.
Vibrations?
And when can you feel it?
Even though it's cold, I feel warm inside.
It's lovely here. Anyway, we've already seen a deer.
Might be that pain.
Straight away,
What
we
does
saw
that
a
mean?
deer. Well, I like to think we are being guided by nature, and we've got
Well, the deer's over there.
the deer's over there.
So we're not.
It's a
guided
bit
by
expensive over there.
Right.
And we know it wasn't a robot because I asked it to tell me how many traffic lights it could see, and it couldn't see any.
Couldn't see any.
They're colourblind.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, we're going to go and investigate West Kennet Long Barrow, and hopefully find some other paths. Well, we'll definitely find some paths.
Find a raven as well, which is a sign of the gods.
Odin following us.
Pagan gods, not the true God Jesus and Yahweh, but the pagan gods.
Let's go.
There you go,
But
mate.
interestingly enough, that
There you go.
interestingly enough, they potentially a lot of this farmland would have been ploughed many times, and the abundance of this rock here could sort of show that there were bigger rocks that have been broke down and scattered. I mean, it's absolutely everywhere. In fact,
Like flint, isn't
yeah,
it?
I've never actually, I don't think I've ever seen a field with so many stones and rocks in it. There's one there I picked up rather nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this one.
It's one you made earlier. I think that's a bone.
Does it look like a bone? So we finally made it here. This has been about 2 years in the making, don't you think, Rob? We've been
Easy.
really
What,
wanting...
West Kennet Long Barrow?
Well,
No, it's older
I
than
think
that.
it
yeah,
took a while.
bit older than
Bit
2
longer
years.
than that.
But our sort of pilgrimage here, since I very first saw Rob's face on top of
On a Tom Brooks YouTube.
prehistoric geometry
Yeah.
of Britain video. So,
Look at
This-
the camera.
this is really special moment, and we'll go and see just how
Cosmic.
cosmic it is. We can go in there. Now, apparently, the smaller stones are called Uralitic.
Oolitic.
Ulitic. And they're from the Bath and Avon sort of
Showground.
Froome, Bath, Avon river area. And apparently they got the
River?
small, yeah, the River Avon.
Phoenix.
Okay. Okay, I'll go with that.
That the stones held souls of the supernatural.
Smells better second hand. Yeah, what he said.
Anyway, we're going to go and have a look. Apparently, according to this very descriptive,
Look at the camera.
signpost here about West Kennet Long Barrow, that there were
At the camera.
11 people, 11 bodies were
Skeletons. of 11
discovered within the
Thought it was 50.
chamber. 50?
It might be more, but there was
Really,
one
it's fantastic.
36.
one found with
36.
excuse me. There's one found with an arrow in its neck vertebrae,
Yeah.
and they all died around the same time, so it might have been from some kind of battle.
Well, it could have been.
So this must have stank. If you think it would have had loads of bodies in it, the scene, would that have?
Yeah, they used to crush mint leaves up and stick them at their nostrils.
Yeah.
Nosegay, they call it.
I think so.
They had it in the Black Death where they helped to hide the stench. They would fasten smell to their
Yeah.
nose.
And they had the old plug-in.
Birthday rules.
Also, I found a hair stone. The hair stone.
What are you doing?
Trying
Stand
to show you the
still. Yeah,
stone.
I can see it. Stand still.
Stop scooting around.
Yep. What does that mean?
Eastra.
Yep.
She's with us.
Mate, Easter's gone now.
Estrogen.
Estrogen.
Should we have a look inside?
It was
have
a
a look.
burial mound, I told you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, this is rubbish. It says so on there, mate.
No, it wasn't necessarily built as a burial mound. People might have been stuck in there when the comet
I
hit
said to you,
and died in there.
The comet?
It had been used as a burial mound. It said built for that reason.
It's been used for burials.
Listen
Wasn't
to
a
the
ma-
small
wasn't a
details,
mound for
and thou
burials.
shalt find us.
All these little stones in the corner.
Yeah, they're just bridge up the holes, gaps.
I'll follow you, Scott. You go in that way.
All right.
Wow.
Sacrifice. We go to the left then. Oh look, raven feather. See it?
Yeah.
You pick it up. Yeah, look.
Oh yeah. Wow. So this originally then is where the bodies would have been, is it?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it would have gone back further than this because from the picture on the outside you see on the board, it doesn't look as big as on the inside.
No. It was sealed up for a number of years
Yeah,
with sarsen boulders apparently.
to stop people coming in.
Yeah, because it's about 100 metres long, isn't it, in total? But we've only come in, what?
Yeah, 10, 15 metres.
Yeah, not even that, I don't think.
No. You see there, I mean, that's obviously not original. So I don't know if this would have been why they did this. I mean, it would have been covered originally, wouldn't it? With earth, I suppose, and stuff.
Possibly. Yeah.
Maybe it was unsafe. They couldn't let someone in if it had a dodgy, it had to be health and safety. Applicable.
So, in here with Scott, and we found some offerings of these, Scott?
Yeah, we've got a lot of like fresh English field flowers, dandelions, not sure what that is, bit of pine tree, some shells, a candle, there's a lovely yellow rose there, it's quite fresh actually. So people obviously bring things here as a kind of a non-threatening sacrifice, I suppose, and little ritual, maybe for good wishes for people or a bit of white magic.
So it maintains its kind of significant place,
Yeah,
site
obviously
of worship.
people, a bit like the tour in Glastonbury, people feel a resonance of power and specialness with the place. And there's even a bit of crystal or something out there. It's it's nice to see actually that people have got faith in something other than
Themselves.
material objects
Lovely.
and wealth. Very special.
Should we head back into the light?
Let's go back to the light. We need to save more souls. Phil, do you think, like, now we've been inside the barrow, you see the whole length of the barrow, do you think that would have been accessible originally from the inside? The whole chamber would have extended that far, thus far?
Well, just over there is a dip, so it sort of denotes there could have been two parts to this barrow, but we don't know what has...
A collapse.
Or a collapse, yeah, it could have been a collapse. At Stony Littleton, not far from Stanton Drew, you can go right inside, right up to the very end. But one thing I did want to say is that standing on top of this barrow, which is a barrow, it's well known it's a barrow, it's called West Kennet Long Barrow, that when we go to the golf course in Barrow, it's exactly the same sort of thing. Same sort of shape. Some of the ones in Barrow are actually bigger than this. But you can definitely see how the complex on the golf course is what I said it is. They are the barrows. So
there's a lot of them around the country.
Yeah.
Ancient
so
monuments.
There are 30 barrows in Wiltshire apparently, and a lot of these. There's been a lot of monuments built after the barrows. There was a Roman coin hoard found close there. What is so special about this place? There must be something.
Well, as we said, the prehistoric geometry channel, the Tom Brooks, he himself mapped out every single sacred site, stone circle, any place of ancient antiquity and importance, and they actually all run out of or in alignment from the epicenter, which is Silbury Hill, which is just behind us. And it's been proved that Silbury Hill is the largest step pyramid in Europe, which also sort of backs up my claim about these hills like Brent Knoll, Mount Sion, Glastonbury Tor, all the hill forts in Somerset. They're very sort of profound in Somerset. They're abundant, really, aren't they? But
very abundant. But don't forget, in the words of Jonathan Ross, it's not a fake barrow, it's a wheelbarrow.
Yes. So my sort of claim that all of these pot-bellied hills, which is what Göbekli Tepe means, and an interesting fact that a ley line runs through Göbekli Tepe, through Stonehenge, through Barrow, that I'm right about these hills being structures. And me and Rob by hand have done our own sort of little excavation on one particular area in North Somerset, which is undisclosed. And we have found, haven't we, Rob, that it's been...
Remind me?
The camp.
Look at the
woods,
camera, maybe, and speak.
The woods has been built, hasn't it? You can clearly see it. And another interesting fact is I've been saying that the structure that we found in Banwell has got a huge seam of quartz running through it. And when I looked for the meaning of the matrix beforehand, it said there was a sequence of squares over squares or within squares. Now it says finely grained stone, limestone, with crystal or gems, precious gems.
Has that got anything to do with this?
Yes, it has.
Embedded in it.
Nothing
Embedded
to do with
in
James Bond.
It's got lots to do with it.
So you're saying that this stone here is the same, is it?
No, I'm not saying this, but Silbury Hill, I would imagine, no, unless you dig in there to find out,
Full of crystals.
but it's full of crystals. That's what I'm saying before.
Maybe one giant crystal.
Yeah, one huge crystal. It's like a superconductor.
I'll put a brolly over your list.
So
It's getting wet.
this is part of the Cotswold 7 group of barrows. What other barrows of note around here? Is there...
I don't know the particular names of them, but I know there's one called Waylon Smithy, which is not too far from
Sounds
here.
like a cowboy.
From
He
the
wrote the
Simpsons?
Dukes of Hazzard theme.
No, he's
That's
out.
Waylon Jennings. Sorry.
Waylon Smithers is out of Simpsons, so maybe it's something to do with him. But with Silbury Hill being that, and I would wholeheartedly recommend the Prehistoric Geometry of Britain little series of videos if you are interested in sacred sites
Everything
and
lines
alignments.
up,
Everything lines up. Equilateral, and over 250 kilometres, they are within 1 metre of difference on the alignment, which is pretty good.
Height-wise.
What is?
Height-wise.
On-
To the tops, the peaks,
Yeah.
the middle centres of all these places.
Of these barrows?
Yeah. And hills. Mounds.
Apparently modern pagans see this as a temple for vision quests. You know anything about that?
Well, funnily enough, we had a little conversation. I found a video, and it said that a nobleman, when sat upon a mound, will either see a spectacular sight or will be violently
Attacked by red ants.
terribly ill. So a vision
Violently
quest,
sick.
violently sick, maybe convulsions.
Yeah.
But these vision quests are where, I presume, I don't actually know 100% what vision quest, hasn't been on one,
That was
but
an 80s TV programme, wasn't it? Vision Quest.
maybe.
So you think that's related to the Vision Quest then, this nobleman?
Yeah, all things like that. And a nobleman doesn't necessarily mean somebody of monetary value. It's of a noble
Someone wise.
capacity.
I thought it was a landowner.
No, it's someone who lives their life in a noble way.
I don't think that's right.
Well, you don't think it's right, but it is. It's someone
is
who
right.
lives with good
Guaranteed.
intentions.
I don't think it's right.
He's researched this.
Yeah, I have
He's
researched
discovered
it.
it. No one else has.
Well, the reason
one
I
else
say
has.
that is because it was said that these barrows were a mark of ownership of control at one point. Who would have been, would those noblemen have been the people that had the barrows?
I don't think anyone can really say what the hierarchy was before, because they say these are sort of 3,500 BC,
Yeah, before Christmas.
before Christmas, or something else beginning with C, which I won't repeat.
Cheese.
Anyway, that we don't really know what the hierarchy was per se.
But noble people were. This would have been a status symbol to have this on your land, having a
Mark of
centre-
ownership type.
Maybe,
yeah,
or
centre of
maybe,
power.
yeah, but we don't know. It might have been a community
Of
thing. They might have
spiritual
all,
power.
they might have all built it together. So we shouldn't be so arrogant as to think we know the actual answer, which is
So long
the
ago.
whole point of the Pathfinders
Although
is.
some of us do.
Or been told.
The whole point of the Pathfinders
Secretly.
is to ask these questions and see what we can come up with. No one's necessarily going to be right.
And I guess if you haven't been up here, part of the quest to try and find the answers, get out of your house.
And I think some of our subscribers have quite a lot of knowledge or ideas about the sites that we visit. So, you know, if they're welcome to comment on there,
Yeah.
and they might know as much or as little as us.
But if you haven't been, it's a great place.
It
Isn't
is
it? And we're on
absolutely
our own.
brilliant. I mean,
It's quiet.
there's not throughout the whole world. There's only a handful of places like this which you can access so easily. Go inside and really soak up the atmosphere. And to be honest, when I went in there, I did sort of have a sort of tingly feeling.
I felt magical.
Yeah, it has been altered in
Yeah.
there. There has been some stuff like there's certain stones in places where you.
They've been touched.
Well, they've been.
Because it's 100 metres long, isn't it? In
Yeah.
total, like originally.
Can you imagine how the Romans felt? I mean, even look, when you think when the Romans came here and they discovered this, they must have thought they'd hit the jackpot spiritually when they came to Britain. They must have been completely in awe, and it's like, yeah, we'll have that.
I will say though that across the world, so when you go to America, there is a very big mound culture, which sort of I personally think there would have been a larger culture before cataclysms, because potentially this could be before Ice Age. There's always a narrative, and when it comes down to archaeology, it's always a certain. They won't really go away from the status quo, no matter how much sort of research you do.
There's a lot of money behind backing
Yeah.
that theory, isn't
Yeah.
there? Promulgating that theory of what has already been said. So to say something different could be actually disadvantaged.
Yeah, and people
disadvantageous to them
that have said,
economically.
people that have gone against the status quo have been blackballed, and
or disappeared.
or disappeared, but their career in archaeology is literally cut off there and then.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But once again, I wholeheartedly recommend coming here. It's not really that hard to get to.
It's off the A4, isn't it?
It's a 10-minute walk from where we parked the van.
Yeah.
It's a little bit off the
We
beaten
crop
track.
hopped to get here, didn't we? Across the
We
crop.
crop hopped.
You can go just to
I've
the
got
A4 and
young
pull
Maeve.
up.
I've got really wet feet because I didn't come prepared. Is this evidence of geopolymer? Looks like this has been laid out flat on the floor, filled with this material, which is ground down limestone and stuff, shells maybe, and then these rocks placed in it. And these have eroded less than the mix, perhaps. What do you reckon, Phil?
Geopolymer basically is sandstone or limestone with a chemical reaction to grind it down, but it's filled with larger aggregates and fossils. So there is some evidence, I think, here. The main thing for me is that they supposedly moved these 100-ton stones over hundreds of miles,
No way,
aliens,
no way.
levitation, or
Manum.
they could have just done, logically, done it like this.
Poured it, stuck it up.
Bish bash bosh.
I personally believe that the geopolymer that they use here contains human bones, maybe of the elders of previous like druidic generations, which enhances the resonance of the spiritude from these
Ancestral spirits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and those stones that we talked about earlier, the Uritic ones, they said they contain the souls of humans, so supernatural souls. So maybe Scott's right.
Maybe there's something in that. Well, these are the questions.
Maybe there's someone in that.
I mean, Scott obviously has been around for a long time.
Look at him, he can hardly open his
I've
eyes.
been around the longest out of all of you. I've seen the mostest, and I've learned the leastest.
This was West Kennet Long Barrow. Thank you for watching. As per usual,
Thanks, guys.
like, comment and subscribe, and enjoy our next episode. See you again on the Pathfinders.
Thanks, guys.